Boys season 4 is here, and I guess Uzi explained it to me. I thought I was watching a pretty good show. Like I was entertained watching The Boys.
Yeah.
I've read the Boys comic book. Like it's not good.
Mhm.
So my whole thing is this is better than the comic book. That's the only thing I can give example of it. I've seen on Instagram and Twitter saying like, "Yo, The Boys season 4 is fucking going to hell, dude. Like it's not what it was." And I was like, it's still the same thing. First episode is still as gory, and it leaves off exactly where we thought it would have left off at. You know, and I still enjoy what I'm watching. But why do you think it's going downhill right now?
I do think it's still a good show. It's not getting like hate, but I would say it's more getting like panned that it's not as good as the previous seasons, which that I kind of acknowledge. I don't think it's as good as I don't think so far we're 4 episodes in. I would say 4 episodes into Gen V, I probably enjoyed more than this. Mm-hmm. Like I thought Gen V, maybe also because of the newness of Gen V, but for me, a part of it is like, I don't think certain characters aren't as good as they were at the beginning of the show. Like Butcher dying, like that being a thing, he's kind of neutered and he's not as good of a character to me as he was in the beginning of the show. The biggest one is Homelander. In the beginning of the show, it felt more like he was evil and actually like he was the overall big kind of villainous threat. And like even like to tie in with the whole he's Superman, he can laser people, whatever, but it was also his ability of like remember the scene in the first season where it's him and Maeve like try to save the people on the plane, and then he cuts the plane and the plane crashes or whatever, and then when they're standing in front of the wreckage of the plane, he turns to the reporters and like turns it into, oh, if only the superheroes were part of the DOJ, we could have prevented this, blah blah. It was that part of his character of like, oh, he's not just like big, strong Superman, dumb, angry guy. It's also his ability to like manipulate the media, manipulate people, and like that aspect to him that was kind of cool. Now it's more like people are just afraid of him because he's a big, dumb, angry like child. Like that's what it is. People are just constantly in fear that he's just gonna have a tantrum and like laser them to death.
Is that not part of like the character development though? Like you see him as this, but he's broken down to he actually this, like for real. He's not this pedestal you put him on. He's actually an idiot. He's actually a child. He doesn't know what he's doing.
I get that. I understand that, but then fundamentally it's like, all right, that might be true, but that means like if he really wants to, he could just kill everybody in 2 minutes. Like it doesn't make it as potent of a character if you're like, all right, we're basically just waiting for him to kill everybody. Like,
but he's not, because they totally like you have this need to like get approval from loved, be loved, get approval from like, you're never gonna do that. It's like you show your teeth for like yes, but you're not gonna like, kill him.
My thing is I can see if that narrative keeps going, and like they had the one scene where he's talking to like the different versions of himself or whatever in the mirror, and like then the last episode he goes to the lab and like kills all those people from his past. If they truly go down the path of him losing that little part of his humanity and he just goes full sociopath and like actually becomes the big villain and like just is like, I'm leaving the Homelander persona, whatever, behind. I am just now your new god emperor. Either bow down to me or I kill you. Then I'm actually in. Like, then I'm in. Then I'm back on and I think it's cool. But so far, this kind of like him just the weird need for approval and attention and him kind of just being a child about it, and he has to get the smarter person to actually figure out his plans, like that makes his character not as appealing to me. It doesn't seem like as compelling. So I can get, again, I don't think it's bad. I don't think the show is bad. I can understand why people are like, this isn't as good as it was in the previous seasons.
Is it just a Homelander aspect, or is it like other characters were also gone on a down spiral?
It's Homelander. It's other characters too. Like I said, Butcher I don't think is as good as it was before. The Mother's Milk like doesn't make as much sense to me, because it's like, all right, dude, so your whole thing of joining the boys in the beginning and like, you know, doing the whole reason for you doing what you're doing was to stop Homelander and to stop like fucking then Soldier Boy or whatever, and then in the process you ended up losing your wife and kid to another guy, and then he was doing the family stuff, and so you were kind of then forced to just continue doing this because you didn't really have a family anymore. Well, now that guy's dead. That guy who was with your family, he's gone, so your wife and kid are now single again, and you're not even really going after Homelander like that anymore. You're now like a CIA guy and just going after like whoever they tell you to go target and kill. So you just have a new job. So it's like, why are you still doing this? Go back to your wife and kid.
I'm still invested in the story. I'm not saying this is my favorite season so far, but I feel like we still on par. I feel like the writing is still good, because like the very first episode, right, we're like, yo, why don't they just go up and like, yo, kill these people? they show them trying to kill, like actually kill. Like Butcher walked up to a girl, put a gun to her head. And...
Or Plan B.
How's it you guys are actually getting worse at your jobs?
Like, we're trying.
Yeah, through the acid in her face.
Like, we're trying.
I get that.
There has to be a plan because nothing else is working. So the writing is so good.
I'll say this, like my thing is I would like for it to not, like, here's the thing. I think I know like what's happening or like where it's going. Like, so with the Sister Sage character, I basically see her plot is going in two directions. One, either she's doing all this masterminding shit, but it's all not actually in an effort to help Homelander. It's all in her own efforts. She's trying to set herself up and she's just manipulating everybody for her best outcome and her gains, and she's actually the big villain or whatever. Or she's manipulating Homelander and everything, but she's actually a good guy and she's actually going to end up going and working with the boys and blah blah. I see that as like basically the two paths she's going on. If she doesn't and it diverts into something else, cool. But like if it's either one of those, that's kind of predictable to me, and I don't like whenever I can predict where a story's going. I don't really love that.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep my eye open though. I'm gonna keep watching.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep watching.
Yeah, one more season.
Still
after
think it's
this.
entertaining.
Yeah, one more season after this, and it's over for sure. But we'll keep our eye out.